everybody, I'm Helen Thompson from the British Franchise Association, and I'm here today with Caroline Szeremeta from PGH Beegone. Caroline is chatting to me today about the peer boards. It was something that we ran earlier in the year for companies, and I just wanted to catch up with Caroline around about it because it was something that meant quite a big deal to their company. I just wanted to talk to her about her experience. So, hi Caroline, how are you doing?
Hi Helen, yeah, I'm well today, thanks. How are you?
Good. Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much. I see we're matching in leopard print. We're clearly very on point.
Yes.
Caroline, when we originally marketed the peer boards as an idea, people weren't so confused as much, but I don't think they really sort of understood, what the peer boards meant. And I know that you've, found it really, really valuable. I just wondered if you could just talk me through about, because you're relatively new to the BFA and it's lovely to have you with us in membership. But I just wondered if you could sort of talk to us about, what it meant to you, what the process was like, and what sort of path you're off on now.
Sure, yeah. So we became a franchise business at the end of 2020. And we've been obviously putting all of the markers in place to get ourselves ready to become members of the BFA, which was approved about 3 weeks ago now. So yeah, we were delighted. We participated in the BFA peer board because it seemed like a really good opportunity to both network with other people in the industry, to learn, because we're new to franchising as a company, but also I'm new to franchising as an industry. So, it was good to get more insight into franchising as a whole. And also it gave us the opportunity to bring to the table some specific issues that we might have been having sort of during that period. So it allowed us to gain an alternative sort of perspective on the challenges that we were going through sort of at that time. And I think the fact that the peer boards were a month apart also allowed time to actually reflect on the feedback that you'd had from the previous peer board and then implement the actions that you'd sort of been put down for. So it wasn't just 3 hours of chatting, it was 3 hours of really useful debate and insight, and then there were measurable actions to put in place for the following one. So that was really good.
So it's almost like there's quite a structure to them then. And you're on a board with non-competing other brands, but it's about everybody sort of pooling ideas and experience, and then perhaps maybe giving you solutions and suggestions to the things that you're looking to maybe improve on or work on within a business.
Yeah, absolutely. There were 4 brands in total, including us, on my one, although I think some of the peer boards are slightly larger than that. We were on the emerging franchisor peer board, but I know that there are other ones as well. And it was very structured actually. So each meeting we started with our highlights from the last month, our highlights from the last month, both in terms of business and personal. And then we gave a score for our tank, so sort of how energetic we felt, and that sort of set the tone for the meeting, and we were sort of aware what headspace the others were in sort of from the start. And then there's a virtual, well, we did it virtually, a virtual sort of table plan. And you sort of go round in that order. So each person brings their update and their sort of their challenge for that month. Then there's a few rounds of questions where the others get to ask them questions, but they're not allowed to offer advice at that point. And then once all the questions have been asked, and you get plenty of chance to sort of ask them if you've got more than 2 rounds worth, then you go around the table in the same order and each person offers advice. And at that point, the person who's put the challenge to the table isn't allowed to comment. They just have to sort of sit there,
listen
to the advice, make notes, and you go around the table for each person using that sort of format. And then at the end of the peer board, the facilitator summarizes what each person's sort of actions are to take away and to work on before the next one.
Great. Oh, it sounds fascinating, because obviously you're going to just pick up different perspectives from different people in business as well. So there should be a whole wealth of sort of information and suggestions and solutions coming your way.
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, it was so good. I mean, from our perspective, we're very, very new. There was one other company on the board with us who were, they've been established longer, and they have 2 franchisees at the moment, but they're still sort of in a quite embryonic stage.
Yeah.
And then there was a very well-established franchise who were more, they specifically asked to be on the emerging one because they were looking to completely revamp their business model.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of knowledge sort of that we could get from them. And then there was one sort of in the middle of the 2 extremes. And yeah, I mean, it was great that we were all at different stages in our sort of business life cycle. And everyone was really supportive. It was a really sort of open environment. You felt comfortable to make suggestions. There's no such thing as a stupid comment or question. And I think we all actually we all got on really well and had a real sort of, what's the word? I was going to say admiration.
Camaraderie?
Yeah, camaraderie, and just like an appreciation of what each person was doing, and and going through, and
Oh, that sounds brilliant. So what next for you guys then? From the peer boards, what's the next steps for you?
So we got a lot of positive traction from the peer boards, and we've worked on all of these sort of the feedback and comments that we got. So for us, the target is to onboard 4 franchisees in 2021. Brilliant. We've got one already, and he is already getting lots of leads. He's had been through his training. He's very happy. So that's good. And he obviously, he'll work as a sort of a testimonial for us, hopefully. So the plan now is to attract another 3 this year. So we're hoping for a busy summer period. And then onwards and upwards from there, hopefully.
Brilliant. And is the peer board something that you would recommend for people to consider, bearing in mind the sort of the wealth of experience and knowledge that you yourself have gained?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think like you say, there's a certain maybe miscomprehension about sort of what it would entail, but it is beneficial. It's worthwhile putting that time in, and I think sometimes when you're so engrossed sort of within a company, you can find it hard to see the bigger picture and the sort of the right strategy to follow. Sure. So I think getting an external perspective is always going to be useful.
Brilliant.
And even just to sort of sense check what you felt might be the right path to take.
Yeah, well, it sounds perfect. Taking time out of the business sometimes to actually sort of look back into the business and what's happening. Sounds like that's the ideal opportunity to do it. Well, listen, Caroline, thank you so much for talking to me today and sharing your experience. I just wish you all the very best of luck, onwards and upwards. I'm sure you'll have no problems recruiting the other franchisees that you're looking to for this year. But again, thanks ever so much for chatting to me today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks, Helen.
Take good care.